Hi, Emmanuel here with T2S, Transform to Succeed. Our mission is to help you change your life by equipping you with the desired and up-to-date IT or information technology skills so that you can get to your dream job, to take care of yourself, your family, and even serve people more. That's our mission, that's our goal. In this video, I'm gonna show you how you can install LAMP on a Linux system, and specifically we'll be focusing on Ubuntu. So I'm gonna take you to the notes here quick, and then this is just to give you kind of like an overview of what we'll be doing here. So we'll be installing LAMP on Ubuntu. What is LAMP? LAMP is a stack made of Linux. So you're gonna need a Linux system, and then we'll install some database. In this case, we're gonna use MySQL. There's also a way to use a MongoDB as a database here, a SQL database. And then also we'll install Apache. L stands for Linux, A stands for Apache, M stands for MySQL, and P stands for PHP. So we're gonna install that, and I'll walk you through the steps here. Apache, that's a web server similar to Nginx, and PHP, it's also a web server, but it provides some kind of like dynamic properties that you can take advantage of, and it does even more. So the first thing we'll do is to update the package database, and then we'll install Apache, we'll install MySQL, we install PHP. We're gonna install some other popular PHP extensions based on the desired needs. Then we'll configure Apache to prioritize PHP, because by default, Apache looks for the index HTML, and to make it look for index PHP first, we have to edit the dir.conf file, and of course we'll configure that, and I'll show you how to do that. Following this documentation, we'll restart Apache to apply the changes. Then we're gonna go to the testing phase. We're gonna test our LAMP stack. So we'll test Apache, and then we'll test PHP, and lastly we will do a cleanup, which is kind of like optional. So that's kind of like the plan, and I will take you to my thing here. So I'm gonna start from the very beginning here, and to do that, I'm gonna need to log into my Ubuntu system. It's running on AWS, and I have videos on how you can set up your account on AWS and stuff like that. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna show you what I'm doing. So what I'm doing is you have your instance running, because this is kind of like another video, and then to connect to this, you select your desired instance, and then click connect, and that's pretty much what I'm doing. And I already have this key here, so you have to locate it and then be there in that specific path or location where you have been storing your key, And then the last thing you do is to just use this link here, and then you can copy, you can SSH, and that's what I'm gonna do now. And this is not like a lesson on how to do that, so that's why I'm gonna go a little bit faster. So I'm gonna do that, and you cannot do this because just copy and paste here, but you have to go where you have stored your key PEM or your PEM key, and mine is here, AWS keys. So I'm gonna go there, and if I ls, I can see that key, and that key has already been made executable, so I can execute that key. And then so I just jump to the very last command here, which is to SSH onto my system, and that's why you see what you see here. So it's I am logged in, as you can tell. I'm logged in. So now, following our documentation, the first thing that we need to do is to sudo update. And notice, because we're using Ubuntu, the package management tool or utility that we use, it's apt. For the other systems, could be YAM, could be DNF. So I'm gonna enter that. So what we have done, we have already installed, I can share this, we have installed Apache, and I can try it one more time here. So that's installed, and that's the next step. And then the other thing that we need to do here is to the next thing we need to do is to install. Or first we need to check the status of Apache. And to do that, we're gonna do sudo systemctl, then we check Apache. And as you can tell, you see here it says it's active and running. I'm gonna clear my screen, and now next we go to install. We're gonna have to install now MySQL, and to install MySQL is to use this command here, sudo apt install MySQL server. We're gonna install the server. I'm gonna say yes. And again, the strength of your internet connection will also determine how fast the installation will be done. And in my case here, I'm gonna give it just some time, and it should be done very soon. That is done. I'm gonna clear my screen. And then next, we're gonna have to run the security script here. And to do that, we use this command here. I'm gonna have to secure SQL. Gonna follow the prompt here. Connecting to MySQL using a blank password. So we're using this this is just for testing. can use 0 here. Then you just follow the prompt, and then you should be done. And then remember, I'm not trying to configure MySQL, we're just installing. So you install this and set everything to its default settings, and that's what I've done here. And next, what we have to do is to install PHP, and then the command is this one here. So just gonna use that command, sudo apt install PHP lib Apache 2, and the rest of the command here. Then press enter. I'm gonna say yes here. Gonna let it run. So it has run its course and everything is set. Looking at documentation, now you can install some other popular PHP extensions based on your desired needs. And here's the command. I'll just copy that and place it here on my terminal, then press enter. Press yes, continue. That is done, and we will configure Apache to prioritize PHP, and to do so we're gonna have to use this command here. So what we're trying to accomplish here, we're using an editing tool, and in this case it's Nano, to go to that dir.conf configuration file, which is located under etc Apache 2 mods enabled. So I'm gonna press enter, and when you do that, what we will be doing is to move the index PHP to the front of the list. So we're gonna use the index PHP to the front of the list. So we find an index PHP, this one here, because if you don't move this to here, so then this one will always take priority over everything else here. Does that make sense? That's what's happening here. So we're gonna have to move index PHP and put it here. So what I'll do, I'll just go here, and I'll type that here, index PHP, and that's done. And then I'll delete this one here. I'll delete it, and then what this file will be doing is to tell Apache that start always with index.php. So index.php has now taken priority over the other files. And when I do that, then you press Control X, and then you're gonna press Y to save, and then enter. So you have saved the changes that you have made to this configuration file, And next, what we do, we're gonna restart Apache. And to restart, you're gonna use the systemctl restart command. So I'm gonna put it there, and then I'll press enter, and we have restarted the Apache server. And finally, before we end this demo, the next thing that we need to do is to test our LAMP stack. And how do we test our LAMP stack? So we start first with Apache. We want to make sure that Apache is working. So in our case, it's gonna be HTTP, our server IP address. Okay, so HTTP and our IP address, and we can get that from actually, if you're using Ubuntu, you can do that, but otherwise you have you can find your IP address so many in so different ways. Okay, to check this, we need the public IP address of our instance, and I'm gonna go to the website here. So you go find that the instance that you're looking at or that you're using, and in our case it's this one here. And remember, this is not an AWS video session, but just briefly helping you here. So you go here, and then this is the dashboard of the EC2 instance here. So you do this, and when you do this, you are able to see the public address here. So I'm gonna close the other stuff here. So you're gonna see here, you have the open address. This is the public address. That's what you need. You're gonna click here, and then the reason why this could happen is it has to do with some security. And when you click on security here, so you're gonna see if we have some port open, and for Apache we can use this port here. So I'm gonna add 80 and see if that will make a difference. Let's see that. Okay, hold on please. Okay, what we do, I'm gonna copy the public IP address here, then I'm gonna go here and do HTTP, and then // and then I'll paste the public IP address of this instance, then I'll press enter. So now you can see that it's working, right? It's working. And next, to check, let me take you to the notes here so that you know what I'm doing here. To check that PHP is working, so we're gonna have to go to this. We're gonna have to configure. So we're gonna configure the info PHP file. So let's go there. I'm gonna clear the screen. I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna go to this file here. And what we do, we have to add the following PHP code. the way it should be done. So we're gonna have to do that. Then we have to close the statement here. So it has to look like this. So we are allowing the possibility to test this test PHP file. So we're gonna test that. So Control X, then press Y to save, and that's been saved. And now that we have saved it, we're gonna do the same thing here. So we're gonna do this here. So HTTP, and then we're gonna add our public IP address. Then we add the name of that info.php file, which means that we go to the website. So we are on the website, and we go back to the browser. So we're gonna do HTTP, and then / I'll remove that. And then here what we do, we're gonna go grab again our public IP address of our instance, and we'll paste it there, and we have to specify the file, and which will be info.php. So info.php, and then press enter, and there you go. So we have tested our Apache server and PHP. So now that we have done that, the last thing that we need to do is to do some cleanup. We have to clean up, which is optional, but it's always recommended to remove the info PHP file, since it provides information about your server PHP configuration. So how do we do that? We use the remove command. So we're gonna remove that file. So we go back here. So it's gonna be sudo, and we remove that file. So this file here, and that's what we remove. And when we do that, then we have completed our job. And what we have done, we have been just to recapitulate what we have pretty much done, is that we have installed a LAMP stack on an Ubuntu system, and the LAMP stack is made up of Linux, which is a required operating system that you need to be using to install these three elements here: Apache, MySQL, and PHP. And again, my name is Emmanuel. Thank you so much for watching. I hope I will see you in the next video. In the meantime, continue to do good, be good, and God bless.